Hello and welcome to Pirates Talk. I'm Ellie.
I'm Victoria.
And I'm Hannah.
And thanks for tuning in with us today. We're just going to introduce ourselves. We're going to tell you a little bit about our social work interests and backgrounds.
Our past and current field placements.
Just a little bit of background about what we're doing here today. So we're going to be doing 6 podcast episodes over the 2023-24 school year. So get excited for special guests like ECU Student Body President Javier Limon,
MSW students and employed social workers at the Pitt County Detention Center, Brooke Keith, as well as the program director at Haven at Blue Creek, Melanie Barwick.
We're going to start with talking about some of our interests. We are all in the School of Social Work. We're grad students. We're in the 1-year program at ECU here. So I think we're all enjoying it so far. But Ellie, if you would like to start us off with some of your interests in the social work field that you have.
Absolutely. I stress the importance of affecting change in every area of social work. They drill us into our brains throughout our social work education, the micro, meso, and macro levels. So as far as micro goes, I'm really interested in victim advocacy and rights, offender rehabilitation, and crisis intervention. As far as the meso level, I'm really interested in community involvement. So for example, last year I was part of the Farmville Community Food Task Force, in which we facilitated a 6-week meeting in which we met once a week with citizens of Farmville to assess what were their needs, what did they want. And so what we came up with is that food resource providers really wanted better collaboration and communication. So we set up the food task force, and now they're facilitating it all on their own. As far as the macro goes, I really have a passion for political advocacy and policy and legislation. Being a Gen Z person, there's not enough of us in policy and legislation, so I really do want to be the one that affects that change and advocates for our rights as we grow in society.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's very fitting for you. You've always just wanted to get out there in politics and just help people overall, and I think that's really great.
Thank you.
Yeah. One of the things I like best about the Gen Z generation as a whole is their desire to become more involved, to become educated and more involved in advocating for themselves, their needs, and those around them.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I encourage other Gen Z people to get involved, where there is a big passion among us, but there's not enough of us yet.
Similar to Ellie, I'm interested in all levels of social work because I believe it's important to incorporate the micro, meso, and macro levels into practice, treatment plans, community projects, etc. However, I ideally would like to work in a macro level setting. Through the research and projects in the BSW and MSW programs, I've learned that I'm particularly passionate about substance abuse as well as the correction system in terms of reentry programs, offender rehabilitation, and in general working to lower the rates of recidivism.
All right. I also am a big fan of micro, meso, and macro, but I feel that my passion leans more towards the micro level of social work. I really want to work in substance abuse and rehabilitation, and I guess that does include some meso with like families and stuff like that too, but I really do like substance abuse and also victim advocacy. I guess we'll jump forward a little bit here, but my internship last year for my undergrad was at a domestic violence shelter. Ellie also had a similar internship as well. She had a similar experience as me, and she also loved it. So if you want to talk about that a little bit.
I sure will, because I did love it. I was at the Center for Family Violence Prevention for my BSW. We're all ECU alumni here. At the Center for Family Violence Prevention, I was a victim advocate, and so I'd I'd go to court every day with my clients, and I'd help them file for domestic violence protective orders through the civil justice system. And if they chose to take out criminal charges against their defendant, I'd go to their court hearings with them for those. So that was the criminal justice system. So I got a very thorough insight to how court systems work in North Carolina, and especially in Pitt County. We also did a lot of crisis intervention. I mean, when you go someplace after you've just experienced a traumatic event, you're not at your normal levels of functioning. And so sometimes you just need that little bit of help to get back to a good place, and so that you can get yourself better on that right track. So we do a lot of crisis intervention, find housing for people, find transportation as well. Getting to help people just go back to a better part of their lives, and help them through a really hard part of their life that they're going through right now.
Right.
Yeah.
My undergrad field placement was a lot different from that. It was at ACEs for Autism, which is a nonprofit organization that provides applied behavioral analysis, ABA therapy, to children with autism. And it was such a rewarding experience. I really enjoyed the environment, the children, and being able to see their growth while I was there. I loved learning about behavior from a different perspective than what we've been taught in the social work program. And I learned so much from the people that I worked with. They have such an awesome staff.
It sounds so much fun.
It does sound a lot of fun.
Yeah. So with the behavior, one of my favorite parts about that was in the social work program, we learned about behavior from the human behavior and the social environment perspective. So like how someone's social environment and their surroundings affect their behavior. But with applied behavior analysis, they look at the ABC, like the antecedent to the behavior and the consequence. So like what caused the behavior and what was the consequence of the behavior. And in order to get the consequence that you want, so a better outcome, how do you change the antecedent? Or probably didn't do that good of a job of explaining it, but
I think that's a great job.
I think it was perfect.
thank you. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and now I think about behavior in those terms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That seems like a really great experience.
it was so much fun, and I loved riding scooters and playing with the train sets every week.
That is fun. Tell us about yours. Where were you at?
I was at the Wesley Shelter over in Wilson. I really enjoyed it. The staff there was amazing. We also filed ex partes and DVPOs. I did spend a lot of time in the courthouse as well. It was really interesting learning about the legal system because me personally, I never was really educated on it. I guess, like, as a whole.
That's a consensus among a lot of people.
Yeah, I was never really educated about, like, the whole process. And, I mean, I was only educated on, like, domestic violence protection orders and ex partes, but I feel that it expanded my knowledge on that legal field as a whole.
Absolutely.
And I really enjoyed it. And I also... going back to like crisis intervention, because you see that every day when you're at an internship such as that one. I really enjoyed the crisis intervention aspect of it, and it was actually one of my favorite things to do, even though like sometimes it's the most scary. It was really nice knowing that I was available to people that really needed me and needed to be calmed and supported and comforted, and I really loved it, honestly.
Absolutely. I feel like the positions that we held were so satisfying because within a day of working with somebody, you could automatically see their level of functioning go up and them going to a better place. So it was like that immediate satisfaction with working with short-term clients.
Right. So you get to see clients blossom and become empowered again, and some of the stuff is really, it pulls your heartstrings a bit, but I really wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I feel like at ACEs for Autism was a lot different. Like there was no immediate change. It was very slow and gradual. So when you did finally see a change, it was so rewarding after like working with an individual for so long on just one or two certain behaviors and then seeing a change. It was like even the tiniest change, it's
like a cause for celebration.
Yes, yeah.
So my current field placement now is actually at the Pitt County Detention Center. And we do a lot of counseling, whether that's group or one-on-one, and it's mostly with co-occurring mental health and substance use disorders. And then you throw in a little bit of case management in there, helping people find housing, transportation, food resources, sometimes clothing. So it's been a really interesting experience overall.
It's interesting for you because I remember you talking previously about you working with victims last year and then coming to like the completely other side and working with offenders as well. So how do you like feel about that? What are your thoughts about that? Like, are you happy?
Yes, I'm happy. I think I had to talk
Are you
happy? Yes. I had to talk with my supervisor a lot about some bias that I held at first about just, I never honestly in my life had been super exposed to people with a criminal background. So I definitely had to do a lot of processing at first. Right. But after that first week, you just really see the humanity in people because they're at the lowest point in their lives. Usually when you're coming into jail, you're at rock bottom. And so it's only up from there. And so helping people get on the right path and getting the tools to be a better person, be their best selves when they go on the outside and even on the inside. It's been very rewarding. Yeah. Absolutely.
What's been the biggest surprise since you've been there?
And the biggest surprise is the level of respect, I think. I think as a young person, I'm a lot younger than most of the people that I work with who are in the detention center. I was kind of expecting a little bias towards myself about my age, but I really haven't gotten that at all. And there's been a lot of respect from even the male detainees, which usually there's that stereotype that the guys are like so tough and they never cry, they never show emotion stuff, but that's not true. And
I love that so much.
Me too.
I know. I've seen like the proof that that's not true. Like these guys, they're emotional, they're respectful, and they want to do better.
Men need to cry too.
Absolutely.
So my current field placement is with Haven at Blue Creek. It's a nonprofit rehab facility for women early in recovery. It is such a beautiful facility, aesthetically, but more so spiritually. They utilize peer support and counseling, and they incorporate exercises and activities that are geared towards providing education, life skills, and overall maintaining sobriety after completing the program. It's really rewarding seeing how they facilitate a sense of empowerment among the women. I'm really excited about the time that I've spent there, and I actually last week accepted a permanent position there, so I will be
Congratulations.
Thank you. For the rest of my time as an intern, I will be training to become the family program counselor, and I'll be taking over in that position upon graduation. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Amazing.
And Haven is such a beautiful place. I've looked into it and I've referred some clients there at times. And the dance therapy they offer, that sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, I love the dance therapy. I learned how to salsa a couple weeks ago, and last week we did aerial yoga.
That's cool.
Yeah, we went to the yoga
Were you
studio
up in the air?
Yes.
Oh my god.
And like hammocks, yeah. They're amazing women. Getting to know them, getting to know their stories. Honestly, I'm surprised that I didn't end up in their shoes.
Really?
Yeah.
I think working at the detention center has really humbled me as well, like the privilege that I've had growing up, because you could be born into one wrong situation, and that is the course for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Because most of the people that
It's
I work
your
with,
environment.
it's their environment growing
Yeah.
up. It's the abuse, the trauma, and then
The things that are
using-
out of their control.
absolutely, then using substances to cope, and then that's just what they know. And you could just one wrong choice from somebody else that affects your life, like could have. I could have been in jail.
With the population of the women that I get to work with, they are absolute sweethearts. Actually, that's probably not the right word to use. They are such strong women. Just hearing their stories, what they've been through, and what brought them to Haven, I have so much admiration and respect for their drive to better themselves, improve their lives for themselves, for their families. And it's really rewarding seeing the progression, like the little changes. And I've only been there for about a month, and even in some of the clients that were new then, seeing where they're at now, it's a very rewarding experience. I love seeing their growth.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, and I'm excited for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I feel that way with my clients too.
Yeah.
Like I'm so excited for them when you see them like get that call that they're being released and stuff, and everyone's cheering. It's so exciting.
yeah.
So yours is in a similar field. Tell us a little bit about your current placement.
I'm at Port Health. It's a methadone clinic here in Greenville. We dose methadone every day. We're even open on the weekends. And we have many types of therapy, psychotherapy. We do inpatient, outpatient, individual therapy. We're a mental health facility as well as substance abuse. So it's very hectic at times, but I really do enjoy it. I enjoy the staff and I enjoy the clients, and I truly think that's where I'm supposed to be right now. So, yeah.
How's it been co-facilitating your group sessions?
So I'm co-leading a SAOP group right now. There's about 5 patients in there, and I've really enjoyed it so far. The only thing about it is I wasn't there right when they came into the group, so I wasn't there from the beginning with them, which is probably the only thing I regret about it, just because I really want to build like that rapport and that relationship with my clients. Other than that, I enjoy meeting with them so much. They make me laugh so much. They're hilarious. Like, there's never a dull moment with them. I started a little bit late, so I'm still learning and getting the hang of it, but so far I really enjoy it.
Good.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Awesome. So Ellie, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of your favorite projects and proudest accomplishments from the BSW and MSW program?
Well, y'all know my favorite project that we did during our BSW.
Oh my
we did
goodness.
it together.
Yes.
So we actually did a project for a practice class, macro practice.
Yeah.
For the Teddy Bear Children's Advocacy Center. And we met with them and figured out that they needed wall decor. They are completely run through grant funding and private funding, but their grants don't allow them to spend the money on wall decor. So we helped them out with it, made some cost-friendly decor. Tell us about what you did for that.
So I used the Prisma app. I had everybody all the employees of the clinic sent me photos of their cats and dogs, and we used photo editing apps to make them look like paintings, like pieces of art. And then we printed those, put them on foam core, delivered them, and they are hung around the clinic.
And we even got to put in our own pets. So if you ever happen to go to Teddy Bear, you can look out for our pets. That was so fun.
It was. And there was such a good agency to work with, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very easy to work with them.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a project because it was just fun.
Yeah.
I was doing what I enjoy.
Yeah.
My favorite project that I've done was probably at my last internship. I actually created a class with resume templates so I could help minorities that were coming to that domestic violence shelter build their own resumes so they could get better jobs.
Oh, that's so awesome.
That's so exciting.
I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah. All of my favorite projects were from my classes with Dr. Lee. The Photo Voice project, the participant observation paper where I used Reddit to research the shared experiences of individuals with substance use disorder, as well as the community outreach project that we did with Teddy Bear.
Mm-hmm.
But my proudest accomplishments are centered around my field placement this past spring at ACEs for Autism. The first few weeks of the placement were really challenging. I honestly felt like they didn't know what to do with me because there were 4 other interns. So there were 5 interns total, and the other interns came from programs that were directly related to working with children. So our learning needs and goals were very different. I didn't know how I was going to construct my learning agreement. I literally walked into one of my early supervision meetings, sat down on her couch, and cried. But I was fortunate to have an amazing supervisor, and she helped me to reframe the situation as an opportunity to advocate for myself, my goals, and create my owning experience. Did I say learning or owning?
Learn owning.
To create my own learning experience. Overall, the experience really increased my self-confidence in terms of my knowledge, skills, and abilities in social work.
That's awesome. And that's really great that you had a good supervisor to help guide you through those feelings of that frustration.
I don't know how I would have gotten through the last semester without her. Thank you, Mallory. What are some fun facts about you, Ellie?
Fun facts about me.
Yeah.
If you know me, you know that I am a huge Swiftie. And somebody told me the other day that they didn't know what Swiftie meant. I don't know how
I
to
know
do
you
it.
told him what it was.
Yes, that means a fan of Taylor Swift. So I actually went to the Eras Tour in Atlanta night 3 earlier this year, and I'm going next year to Miami night 3. My favorite album artistically is Evermore, but my favorite era is Reputation. If you know, you know.
That's the album that kind of like really got me into Taylor Swift.
Reputation or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's doing the Eras Tours next year too.
Yeah, she's coming back for a second U.S. leg.
And you know Ellie's gonna be there.
I'm gonna be there.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I might try to go too.
Mm-hmm.
Fun facts about me. I am a non-traditional first-generation college student. I returned to college at 25. It's been very weird but very cool, just getting to know people from all walks of life. I love crafting, DIY projects, and antiquing. I collect thrifted coffee mugs and Pyrex glassware. And I have a cat named Cece that I found behind a restaurant I used to work in.
Victoria, you are truly the most creative person I've ever met in my life.
No, seriously.
Shout out to Victoria. She made the background that we're using today.
Yeah. And she's gonna make everything else that looks crafty around here. So some fun facts about me. I love all types of music, literally everything, some Taylor Swift songs, and I'm also a big fan of true crime. I'm from Fayetteville, and I have a cat named Jinx.
Nice. How old is Jinx?
Jinx is 8 years old, and I've had him ever since he was 4 weeks, I think.
Oh, nice.
So he's been with me for 8 years, and he's my little best friend.
Thank you everyone for tuning in today. Check out our next episode coming out of Pirates Talk with ECU Student Body President and Board of Trustees, Javier Limon.
We'll see you guys.
Yeah.